reset agenda, President names 3 key tasks. He says the government's major tasks ahead in resetting the country are: 1, amending the constitution; 2, holding past and present government, and we should underline, bolding, and italics the present. So past, yes, we know it's very easy to do that. It's always very simple to hold those who are past to account, but present government officials accountable. And the third one is stabilizing the economy. I actually think we should do it the other way around. For effect and for impact, stabilizing the economy is number 1. For justice, you have to also do the accountability part. As for amending the constitution, it's important, it's relevant, we move it along the line. But some of us have consistently said, you can amend the constitution and the make Bank of Ghana have all the powers that it currently has. But if you have a governor who is a yes or massa person to the finance minister, it's still back to square one. I hope you get my point. So it's important that you prioritize stabilizing the economy. Number 1. It is more important than anything. In fact, there is a man that every day he says finance is everything. Everything else is under finance.
Of course.
Finance is everything. In fact, it's the reason why in some countries where there isn't a lot of human rights and there isn't a lot of freedom of speech, and yet the people are very okay with living under those circumstances, because the very basic things of life, having to feed the family, being able to go to school, not having to have an entire school, KG to class 6, with 2 teachers, 2 partially competent teachers.
Oh God!
It's important. That structure, it shows that your economy is not working, because you recruit the right teachers at the right time. You give them the access and the ability. These students, we are not discussing whether they have innovative ideas for the future. We are discussing whether they have
they can
exist.
Say the alphabet
in the
correctly.
21st century.
Alphabet.
This is not 12th century, 21st century. So as for stabilizing your economy and its impact on all the other sectors, it's important. And I'll be very happy if the number 3 is done, and the rest we'll discuss it along the line. I know some of you, the rich people, you are also interested in the recouping the oral. No. To me, stabilizing the economy is, across the length and breadth of this country, perhaps the most important quest of state.
Well, it is. I think, nobody would disagree.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with you on that, because the most important thing is the stabilization of the Ghanaian economy to set the tone for its transformation and growth. We've talked about that consistently. And I'm just, later when we come to the graphic business, for instance, and in stabilizing the economy, it's also important we invest in sectors that can help transform our economy. I do not understand consistently, and I remember this and I say this all the time, that in a country where economic transformation is like a recall, every day you record the things we must do. It's like agric mechanization. Yes. How do you improve agriculture? Mechanize farming. Irrigation. Next thing, deal with the land tenure system. These are things we learned when 30 years ago. It is still a problem today. What really matters today is for the government to identify where we have competitive advantage.
True.
If we say food inflation is a problem, how do we address that? Which farmers in Ghana today have the capacity to produce more to feed the states? Can we, and I say which farmers, because I'm not saying that go and create farmers all of a sudden. There are people who are already in farming. Those people have made mistakes already, and so if you assist them, all other things being equal, they'll be better farmers than the man who's about to start.
True.
I have seen in the past where the Ministry of Agriculture has
if they would have failed absolutely and totally, they would have done so a long time
exactly
ago.
So it's not about starting a whole new, let's get a new farmer like we do in this country. There's a change in government, and all of a sudden we want to create new businesses by collapsing existing businesses. I am not for collapsing existing business to create new businesses. I am for supporting existing business to diversify and helping new ones also thrive. So how do we go about it? If we decide that, okay, there are farmers who are doing well, maybe they're cultivating, say, 10, 20, 50 acres. With assistance, they can upscale to 200, subsequently 1,000 and 10,000. You support them with modern technology, and then they do that. Why? This is not rocket science. And so every day we are complaining. When we started talking about value addition, Kwame Nkrumah was doing things in Ghana, adding value to things in Ghana. It is 60 years.
Nkulenu has been doing things as far back as those times. And we sometimes make it look like rocket science in 2021.
Exactly.
Or in 21st century.
Exactly.
And like something that we cannot really venture into.
It's just that...
It's our country.
It's just that those who benefit from killing the local industry so that we can import everything, those who benefit from that, they are the ones who advise our presidents. So, I mean, what else do you expect?
Look, let me just...
Who's going to solve these problems?
When I was... studying outside the country and struggling with weather and food and everything. One of the things that is in Nkulenu palm soup base.
Yeah.
You go and grab that one. Everything is settled for you. But you're done.
I've tried some before. It didn't work.
Was that their tagline? But you're done.
No, that's my own.
No. This thing that he's saying, like, Pano, if you make a mistake and you just
but you must know how to
buy and convert, that's the problem.
If you don't know how to do it,
sometimes if you follow even the rules or YouTube videos, the things you do in this world, you'll be shocked.
let me now that you brought before we move on, one of my friends, I'll spare his name for now, but one of my friends said, Mr. Amwa, I went to YouTube to learn how to cook. Charlie, it didn't go well. I said, don't worry, let me show you. Said, so the thing is simple. It's simple. Come and do it. If you go and check YouTube videos, oh boy, you spoil everything. Anyway, let's move to other stories.
Okay, so the other stories there, assign governance roles to chiefs. Dr. Dufo is the one proposing that, and National Education Forum opens today. And today is the big day for the forum. I hope it will be aired live for all of us to participate in it if we are not allowed. I mean, even the stakeholder engagements, okay, so I'm saying this because when we did NESA, the National Education Sector Annual Review, mostly I think that the last time I remember it was at La Palm. Even journalists were invited. And you're not invited to come and put camera there.
No.
You have observed the education system. You have reported on stories about what's happening in schools, like we are doing this morning. Come and tell us where you think the problem is and where we should improve. And at those events, you can question the minister and ask him, so why haven't you reduced teacher absenteeism over the period? Why is your rate of reduction slowing down?
And for instance,
those ones, they are open, they are engaged. It's not like one that has camera there, so people are pretending to tell good stories only. They are willing to answer your question. They can confront the teacher groups and say, why are your people staying out of the classrooms?
Because
why are they being incompetent?
Yes, very important.
So, seriously. I mean, so I hope that this is not one of those things you do for fun. Because cameras are there, we hope to improve this, we hope to improve that, when we know it's not realistic, it's not meaningful, and does not change anything. I'm expecting real conversations on our education sector. That is why I'm worried about stakeholders complaining the morning.
I was going to ask, so today, if you're listening to us, do you know where the education forum is being held?
As in where the future of your children are going to be determined?
Like, no, I mean, do you know where it's happening? Yeah. Do you know anything about it? Because there are many who are waking up to the news that is happening just today. So why? I mean, was it not possible for this event to be as widely broadcast, advertised, and for as many voices as possible to be invited into the conversation? I mean, who is not a stakeholder in education?
You see, Kudu, you're very right. While preparing for today's conversations, I went to the Ministry of Education's website. I was looking for the education sector performance report.
True. Something I've not been seeing for a very long time.
I haven't seen it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. But while searching for that report, I got to the ministry's website and I saw the video indicating the National Education Forum. Then when I got in touch with Kofi Asare, who's part of the team, he was telling me starting today, I think it's a 2-day, and they'll do another event in UPSA, that's on the 27th. And I was like, oh, but I didn't know about this.
We are the media and we didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it. To be very honest, I got to know yesterday because I was, I don't know whether you knew prior, but I was looking for information.
I got to know this morning.
I was looking for information. And that's when I got to know. Because I wanted education sector performance report.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know, for instance, the number of trained and untrained teachers.
True.
The teacher-student ratio. Eventually, I get that from the Ministry of Finance's budget on the Ministry of Education.
Okay, yeah.
And then, so for instance, I realized that in 2019...
The program-based budget.
Program-based budget.
Yeah.
So I realized that in 2019, just about 5.7%, that's about less than 6% of teachers at the kindergarten, in private kindergarten, were trained. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2023...
The foundational stage.
Yes, in 2023, the document says, at the time, it says that now in the public sector is 91% trained, but then doesn't provide statistics for the private sector. But these are conversations we'll have later on. And once we begin to do the comparison, you realize that a lot of our problems are from the foundation that we get. Many people go to school and their foundation is very poor.
I keep on saying,
because we are teaching them alphabet without L. While others are teaching their children how to code. We are teaching our children alphabet without L.
Yeah.
And it's not, look, and I look, my heart goes out to that young man who is volunteering. At the very least, he's offering what he has. He's offering what he has. But the entire state has forgotten about that school.
Well, it's an interesting perspective though. But the other story, Ashanti Northeast elect reps for Council of State. That was yesterday, right?
Yesterday, and I have concerns with how we go about this Council of State election.
Okay. You have concerns with how we go about the election. Yeah. I have concerns with the entire institution called Council of State. Frankly, it's a moribund one.
So this is an institution. This is an institution whose advice doesn't matter. In short, it doesn't. The institution that doesn't matter.
Such a body, we should not expect Peswa really.
In fact, we have reached a stage where we can do without a Council of State.
We can do
without it.
I think we are very fine without it, really.
Yeah, we are fine as we can do without it. So get it out. But the fact that even a Council of State election, a body whose advice is not taken or doesn't matter,
there's violence in it.
There's violence in it. Hey. And all of a sudden, again, you see what saddens me is that, again, there are partisan considerations. And so you would find out that yesterday, the Ashanti regional minister, the very person who gave Galamseyers 2 weeks to stop their illegality,
give them deadline.
Give them a deadline.
Almost like giving what they call
saying
robbers 2 weeks.
Yes, and the man who said,
"Do not rob the people of Dome within these 2 weeks, or to come after you."
Was so
happy. Rapists. Was so 2 weeks to stop raping.
Was so happy that we won.
Some of these people do not make a good case for this thing we say, that people are capable regardless of age. You get what I'm trying to say? There was a lot of excitement around his, but it's politics as usual. Something that some of us do not expect from people like him.
Raymond, let me just bring you the graphic business, so that we get to the online review. So IMF visit set stage for 2025 budget. And that budget will be presented on the 11th of March. Now, food prices remain volatile, according to a report. And the graphic has has a graph here, which will show you that a metric ton of rice in Ghana in January cost $1,099. And it shows if compared to other countries in West Africa, Ghana is the highest. It's that simple. In Togo, there's no change. It's 778.
Hey, the gap is
Nigeria, 790.
My God.
Niger, 921. Mali, 730. Abidjan, as in La Côte d'Ivoire, 999. Burkina Faso, 754.
And you mentioned
Come
Mali,
on.
Yes.
right? Mali, insurgents have taken part of the country.
Even
Burkina Faso, they are fighting.
Even Niger.
Yes. And yet, these countries, when you go to some of these countries, right? If travel around to Togo and so, with the same amount of money that you have, you buy more. Even in Nigeria.
In fact, even in Nigeria.
Yes.
But so that's the, and you see, you ask that question regularly. What's wrong with us? This is the other point. We have done the common external tariff and everything, but this is the other in the heat of COVID-19, we need to be wrapping up, but let me just say this. In the heat of COVID-19, where we said, oh, a lot of food prices are high. Simple question. Why are the prices high?
True.
Solve it. It's simple.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One more point, maybe to underscore this. Government is targeting 10,000 hectares in 8 regions. The minister disclosed that only 1.6% of the 1.9 million hectares was under irrigation, which was significantly below the West and Central African average of 13.9%. So within our sub-region, 13.9% of the areas are under irrigation. But in Ghana, it's only 1.6%. I mean, obviously.
Do you realize that this is Ghana we are talking about?
Yes.
And we are trailing in almost everything.
Yeah.